Hello, I'm Jose, and this is the Cinematic Dogma podcast. I'm joined, as every week, by my it's not multiple, it's singular friend, Blake.
Good morning, Jose. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
As every single week, I think that we have each other at the end of the day.
I'm glad to have you.
Okay, thank you. What did we watch this time? And I know that it has been a while since we haven't recorded, so we may be a bit rusty, but what did we watch for warming up again?
Well, to bring us back, we watched a recent movie, 2025, Bong Joon Ho, his first film since he won the Oscar for Best Picture, and his first English language film, if I'm not mistaken, 2025's Mikey 17, starring Robert Pattinson.
I could say that Okja and Snowpiercer were also.
There you go. Not at all.
As we were saying, we're a bit rusty.
I didn't see Okja in my defense, even though it stars Tilda. Nobody preaches to me about not killing animals. I don't kill animals without being preached to.
That's a fair justification for not watching the movie. But yeah, we watched Mickey 17, as we were saying. And I think this was my pick. And the reason why I pick it is because I respect Bong Joon Ho, but I'm a bit torn about him. I think that we will talk a bit more later. But I think that he has two gears. It's like one of these, like, manual transmission car. And he has like the one that is a sci-fi gear, like The Host, the Snowpiercer, Okja, and now Mickey 17. And then he has the dramatic gear with Mother, Memories of Murder, Parasite. And it feels like two slightly different directors. So when Mickey 17 came out on the cinemas, I was a bit torn because I really like Parasite. And overall, I like him, but I like more his reality-grounded work more than the sci-fi work. I was not the biggest fan of Snowpiercer. I think that I fell asleep and never finished it. But I was watching it. I was watching it because of Tilda Swinton too. But not even that, because it's like, I think that he likes to exaggerate things in such a way when he does sci-fi that I don't really connect with it. It feels like like the guy from Amelie. What's his name?
The
director.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the actor that was in.
Oh, Jean-Pierre Jeunet. No, Jean-Pierre Jeunet. Jean-Pierre Jeunet, that he did Delicatessen and The City of the Lost Children, is that he has a very grotesque style, like a very, very exaggerated style. Bong Joon Ho doesn't do grotesque, but he does over-exaggeration. The Hosts, no. But the rest, I feel like there is an over-exaggeration that it feels like a caricature.
I'm interested to learn more about this comment, particularly from you, because as I was watching this, I was reminded, not in a bad way, don't react, but I thought you would like the way this film reminded me of Brazil. In that kind of over-the-top way. I'm not joking. It's kind of that over-exaggerated sci-fi.
Hey, before we get to that, why don't we do a bit of a summary?
All right. I'm going to do my best, but I'm going to be honest. I felt a little bit lost in the first 30 minutes of this film, so I'm going to ask for your help while I give the synopsis. But to the best of my understanding, the film takes place in 2050. Where we meet Mickey and Timo, who are friends, kind of. Frenemies, yeah. We'll say. They've taken out a loan to start it sounds like a pastry shop called Macaron.
Yeah, it's a macaron shop.
Macarons. Yes, macarons, not macaron.
Macaron.
it goes under, and they owe a loan shark a lot of money, and so to flee this violent loan shark, they jump on a ship headed to colonize an ice planet called Niflheim. Now, Jose, if you haven't heard of Niflheim, that comes from Norse mythology.
Tell me more. It sounds like you actually play the new God of War games.
I've played several of them. So on this flight, which is actually run by, I think, a congressman.
Yeah, a former congressman.
A former congressman, played by the Hulk, actually, who's married to Toni Collette, and he is a psychopath.
Yes.
As is Toni Collette. And
yes.
Sorry, there's so much to throw in here. Sorry. So everybody on the ship that's going to colonize the ice planet has a role. Timo kind of grabs a better role for himself, and unfortunately, Mickey grabs the worst role on the ship, which is called an expendable. And an expendable is somebody who takes advantage of a very new technology called human printing, I think.
Printing, yeah.
Where basically a clone is made, an almost perfect clone of a human once someone has died. And so an expendable is somebody who can take on extremely dangerous missions up to and including death. And upon death, this technology prints a clone, including most of the memories of this human, and this person continues on dying over and over, so they can, conduct dangerous missions like going on spacewalks or being exposed to dangerous bacteria. And so Mickey gets a number every time he dies. So we start the film meeting Mickey 17, and it's actually Mickey 17 who narrates the majority of the film, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So the technology is extremely controversial. It's actually banned on Earth, and Congressman, who is played by, why can't I remember his name? It's the guy who played
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo, thank you. Mark Ruffalo convinces people on Earth, hey, let's at least go test this technology in space to see if we can make it profitable by going off into space and colonizing this planet. What he doesn't tell the Committee on Earth is really he just wants to go to this planet that he describes as pure to create a racially I mean, they don't say this, but basically he wants to create a racially pure...
He says it between lines a couple of times about, like, hey, this is going to be a white society. That I was watching it with my boyfriend, I was like, but there are non-white people on the ship. What the heck? Is there going to be like a racial cleanse when they arrive there?
It's like a thinly veiled metaphor, but not veiled, while still having a diverse cast, whatever.
Let's just summarize.
Yes. So once they get to the ice planet, it turns out that it's not uninhabited, and also due to a confusion, Mickey 17 is thought to be dead, but he's not. So they clone Mickey 18, which is super illegal, and upon multiple clones being alive at the same time, they're required to both be killed, and this brings on the start of the climax of the film. And since this is in theaters right now, I think we'll cut it off there. That's kind of the premise to, let's say, the last half of the film.
Yep. I think that's a good summary. It reminded me. Sorry, let me before I say it reminded to anything. What do you think of it? Did you like it?
Yeah. Thank you for joining this podcast. Until next week.
Good. Perfect.
All right.
Done.
So the first 35 minutes, as I said, I did feel a little bit lost. I don't know if I didn't think I was going to be into it, so I wasn't paying that much attention, but I was like, I can't follow this. And then, seriously, about 35 minutes into it, I was like, okay, let's surrender. And there's like an hour and 50 minutes left. It's not that long, but it was 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it got super, super entertaining. Like, super entertaining. And I laughed, and I enjoyed it, and I liked it. And I actually thought Robert Pattinson was a really good actor. And I was really surprised. I don't think he's a terrible actor, but I was really surprised watching Mickey 17 and Mickey 18 act together. I don't think he has the widest range in the world, but there were moments when I was watching, I was like, okay, I'm convinced those are two different entities.
Characters,
I really am.
yeah.
Yes. And there were genuine moments of humor, and I do think that is a challenge for what Bong Joon Ho was trying to do in another language, particularly for me as a consumer, knowing all of the obstacles. I'm not particularly into sci-fi. I have a tough time connecting with Asian cinema. So I think this was a very entertaining film. Toni Collette was fantastic. Mark Ruffalo was fantastic. I have to say, I think Bong Joon Ho has probably said not only all he has to say about class warfare and class, the class divide. Probably everything has been said there is to say about that. I don't think there's anything new there. But
yeah. Did you watch Snowpiercer?
I thought that I had, but I can't remember anything about it.
Okay, that's fine. But basically, you found it like really entertaining.
I did, yeah.
Like after the 30 minutes after the introduction.
Yeah.
I will agree with you that the intro, like that first act, there is the movie opens with Mickey 17 about to supposedly die, and he looks back. He looks back like 5 years. So then we have like the first act is basically a flashback, like vignettes of what happened. So I understand like that part about like this is like a super long-winded intro before we actually get into the situation that we are right now. That at that point it turns into more of a, I don't know, like a charade of sorts. About like, oh, there is two of them, and it's like, oh, let's split it with this other woman that is also in love with Mickey. I personally thought that it was okay. I felt like the script has a lot of stuff that it could have been trimmed away. Like that secondary like love interest that shows up there, I think that it has no point. But literally no point. Like the role of the friend enemy, it's pretty ridiculous.
Are you talking about Kai, that the female investigator?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That part is like, I think that you could have removed it pretty easily.
But she's the one that discovers the multiples.
No, but okay. Thanks for participating here. And then I feel like the friend is not like that well developed. It's just like an agent of chaos that shows up a couple of times, but it's not that important for the story either. So I feel like it's one of these movies that I feel like you have like lots of elements. I think that you are trying to tell me something about reality, because definitely there may be like some parallelism between Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette's characters and some current politicians.
Who?
I don't know. This is
Why
not
do you hate Hillary
podcast.
Clinton? Why do you hate her?
This is not. This is not a political podcast.
Lock her.
And we also see that most of the people that they go on the ship is because they are fans of their work.
Yeah.
Many people have mentioned that. So there is like a lot of stuff here, and I feel like nothing is truly developed. And then the third act, it becomes like a bit more of a sci-fi, like closer to what Starship Troopers could be.
I don't disagree with you. Okay. We're going to have to play a game here. Blake Lively is married to Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds recently made a movie where he was the star of a video game.
Oh, I don't remember.
I just feel like this was a slightly elevated version of that.
Okay. That maybe I just feel like it's like sci-fi. Good sci-fi tends to be grounded in circumstances in reality. They tend to just like take one or two topics from reality, and they just move it into a sci-fi setting. You know, in this case, they talk about like a planet Earth is that just basically imploding on itself because of a lot of crises that they accumulated with each other, and now interplanetary traveling is a reality. They don't go into the details, into the scientific parts or not, but they are saying that it's like people are escaping towards like finding better places. It's almost like the people moving to America like for centuries about like escaping from what you are living in the other world, is that now they are doing it like in interplanetary, in a setup that is interplanetary. But then I think that they don't want to develop that much, and I felt in the third act, I felt like I said I was watching like a Pixar movie when they go into the adventure mode. We discussed it a couple of times. That is like the third act is for the kids until the resolution, but the third act is like we go on adventures, and that's what I felt. That is like there is a lot of elements, and now we go into the adventures, and then the resolution I felt is like this could have been better, but there has been like elements here that you haven't developed. Like they mention church, they mention like religion, like being behind, like the belief of the Congress, man.
But
But they don't develop that.
wasn't the whole thing for the kids? This was a
No.
children's movie, right?
No. This was not a children's movie. But what I'm saying is like I see the parallelism of suddenly on the third act is that everything that you have been like setting up before, like all of the how do you say, like the groundwork that you have been doing about like, hey, I'm setting up like some political contest, I'm setting like a religious contest, I'm setting like all of the moral and ethics implication, and you put it on the background because you want like them to go on this adventure. And that's like the part of the fair is like, look,
I see.
this
I
is a
see.
clear sign.
I got it.
This is a clear sign that you have like a lot of elements, you don't know what to do with them, and then you solve it.
I
And I
understand
feel
what
this
you're
is a bit of a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, I can see that. And as I've mentioned, I think 12 times now, I'm not the target audience for sci-fi. I rarely get those things. I can definitely see all of that, and I do feel like it was messy. And perhaps you better stated what I meant to say when I meant that the messaging was lost. Because, yeah, it does feel like it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
But if I, as a consumer, feel like I went to a movie that I wouldn't usually enjoy and it was entertaining, for me, that feels like enough of a win.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying this is a bad movie per se.
It's just
I
not
don't think that
a
is.
standout.
It's not great. Yeah, it's like it's forgettable. It's like it's basically as I think that we didn't start recording, but we're talking about like everything that we have seen from Bong Joon Ho, and we realized that he had a how do you say like one of the segments in Tokyo, and funny enough, is the only segment in Tokyo that I cannot remember. And I think that this is this movie, and that's the part that I feel is that when he goes into sci-fi, he may have like good grounded concepts behind that he wants to explore through the sci-fi setting, but he loses track of them. He just goes into the bit more of a sunny or adventurous angle without saying is that, oh, I need to develop this. It's not Gattaca. This is not Gattaca. This is not Arrival.
So when you just before when you said that a good sci-fi takes kind of a human story and moves it slightly into sci-fi, I go immediately to Moon with Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Can you take a sci-fi film that maybe I wouldn't expect, and give me a good example like that?
Like what, like Moon?
Just give me an example. Give me a really good example of a sci-fi film that does that from your point of view.
Like just like starting with a grounded topic.
Yeah, and just moves it into the sci-fi genre.
I mentioned Gattaca earlier.
Gattaca is one that does that well.
I feel because it's committed to that. It's committed to actually. It's like, hey, are you actually like born predestined to do something or not? You know.
So are you saying that Bong Joon Ho started with like a moralistic,
a lot of elements,
finger wagging, and then figured out not too well how to get there and shoved it all in?
Yeah.
Which was the big complaint about Okja, right?
Yes, I mean it's the same thing. It's Snowpiercer is the same thing about like, hey, I'm going to be like making a comment about like classes, similar. I mean, not Parasite level, but a bit more about like I have like this train as the only remnants of civilization. They are like just traveling all around the globe, and I'm going to be like just presenting like class as an element associated with this and how it's going to be eroding the last remnants of civilization. And then he goes in an adventure. So,
did you feel like Parasite was tight in terms of editing? Like the content was all pretty relevant and the messaging?
Oh, it could have been edited down.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I like it, but the last time that I rewatched it, I felt it's like, hey, this is a good movie, but I'm pretty sure that you could have subtracted like 20 or 30 minutes. I think that Mother and Memories of Murder are tighter movies.
I'm having the hardest time. I remember we had really good conversations about Memories of Murder, but I'm having the hardest time remembering the film itself.
About the serial killer in Korea?
But we completely disagreed about what was happening by the end of the film, right?
No, that was Burning.
That's the film. Oh, Memories of Murder is the one that got solved between the time the film was made and the time it got released?
I think so, yeah.
That's the one. Okay.
Burning was the one, because it was Stephen Yeun that he's also in this movie.
That's the one you completely misunderstood.
Oh, you're so cute.
Now I remember. It's funny because Jose and I try not to discuss the films about which the podcast will be before we start recording that much, but today we were just having small talk before we hit record, and we had pulled up Bong Joon Ho's IMDb page, and I think we both kind of had a different idea of how we felt about Bong Joon Ho until we looked at the IMDb page, and I think I'll speak for myself. I think we realized that we think Bong Joon Ho is worth paying attention to, but he's not in our top directors, I think. He's just someone that we probably want to pay attention when he has a new film, but he...
Yep, exactly.
That's it.
But I'm not going to feel bad. Like, for example, I discovered about the existence of this movie on a trailer when I was on the cinema for watching something else. And I was like, oh, cool. I want to keep an eye. But even with the trailer, I was feeling is that this feels a bit messy. It's like if I had only watched Parasite, I would be like, oh, but I'm pretty sure that he's going to be like pulling it out. But after watching Snowpiercer, Okja, The Host, I just felt like, oh, this is on the other bucket. This is on the passion project bucket.
Did he write Parasite? Do you know? Because this film was based on a play, I think, and he adapted it.
Yeah. Oh, Mickey 17? Oh, well.
Yeah, it was based on something called Mickey 7. And I think Mickey 7 was a play.
Oh, wow, interesting. It doesn't give play vibes.
I could be wrong. Maybe it was like a short story or...
No, you're right. Yeah, I see that there is another co-writer there. And one thing that I agree with you is I was surprised with Robert Pattinson. I don't know if I fully agree that he doesn't have range, because I'm thinking about Lighthouse too. The Lighthouse.
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't? I mean, it's a completely different role, but I think that he does something pretty different from what he does here. So at least I know that he has 4 modes. The two ones that we saw, Mickey 17, is that the one on the Lighthouse that is a bit more like broody sailor, and then teenager star.
I know he's got brutish down. He's got every spectrum of brutish, 100%. And he does have some range. It's just like, you know how Meryl Streep can just morph into anything, like literally anything. I'm not sure he can do that. It's
almost no one can do that. Let's be honest.
It's true. It's just there was
because not even Toni Collette.
No, she's just
and
like
I love Toni
bitch.
Collette with my heart.
Oh God! Every time she was on the screen, I was like, put her on the screen more. Like, give her more screen time.
It's like when we're talking about Knives Out. It's like, I want a version of Knives Out that is on every scene.
Give her a spin-off.
Maybe she's not doing anything. Yeah, maybe she's only doing like a face of, like a bit surprised. He's like, that's enough for me. That's what I want. More Collette.
Yeah, I like him. I need to make you watch that Cronenberg film he stars in. Maybe for your birthday.
Which one?
What is
a Cronenberg movie?
He stars in a Cronenberg film where he's just in a limousine the entire time.
What? I never heard of
with
that.
Samantha Morton. It's come out since I've known you, and I liked it. I think I saw it twice.
Oh, okay. Never heard of it. Oh, he was in The Rover?
Yeah, he was like the developmentally disabled brother.
I forgot completely. Oh, Cosmopolis.
That's the one.
Is the Cronenberg one. Yeah.
Well, overall, this was a win for me. I'm not sad I didn't rush to the theater to see it. I streamed it. Overall, I would say this leads me to want to watch more Bong Joon Ho than less.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. For me, it wasn't a waste of time. I didn't feel like, oh my God, I'm never getting these 2 hours back. But makes me look at Bong Joon Ho with more cautious. More of a, I don't have a guarantee if this is going to be good or not.
One of the, I can't remember if you and I use this question a lot, but a question my husband and I always use, if a movie wasn't like great, we always say, well, at least it was more interesting than almost anything else in theaters right now. The answer is always, it was more interesting. This movie was probably not more interesting than anything else in theaters.
This is the rest of what is playing on cinema.
Middle of the road. Yep, you can see this in any theater. Yep.
Yeah, this is like what it goes on the other bucket that you are trying to compare to.
Yep.
That's the feeling that I have. Is like, it's forgettable. I'm not exactly sure what it was trying to do, and it's stories about clones is that we have watched like so many over history that is like there is nothing to be remembered.
I wonder if he just wanted a big studio paycheck after he got his big picture, his best picture Oscar.
I'm not sure, but is it he took like what 6 years or something?
Has it been
6 years since Parasite?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Because I don't know if you remember, is that was before the pandemic, just before the pandemic.
It's been that long.
Yeah.
Wow, time flies.
Yep. So it was a bit of a surprise. Maybe it was about that. It was about like, hey, I want to do a passion project now, and he found a studio that he was willing to give money. It was Warner Bros, I think. So good for him, I guess. Not so good for us, but whatever. should we go over the questions?
Let's do it.
Okay, so Blake, would you watch Mickey 17 again?
I really wouldn't.
No, me neither. I don't think that I miss anything or that I'm going to be like getting an additional value for rewatching it.
Yep.
Would you recommend it?
The answer is no, but not because it's just this is never going to pop up at the top of any list of things to watch ever.
No, I agree. It's like if someone asks me about like, hey, Bong Joon Ho, this would be at the bottom.
Yeah,
it would be below Okja, Snowpiercer, the rest of the sci-fi ones, the host, this would be at the bottom. So, and if someone asks me about like, hey, tell me a good sci-fi movie, it wouldn't be this. Definitely wouldn't be this. Would you remember it?
That's a tough one. I'm going to have to say no, just because it's a little, it doesn't leave much of an impression overall. So I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I'm also going to say no. I don't think that there is enough meat in this stew to remember the flavor. So, is there anything artistic about it?
Yeah, I think there's some beautiful moments. I honestly thought some of the special effects were particularly beautiful. I don't want to give away any spoilers, so I'm not going to say specifics. And let's just say Robert Pattinson impressed me.
Okay. I'm going to say yes, also because of the acting and having Toni Collette.
Yeah, there you go. She's an effort. That's just a win.
She's an art. She's an art in herself. But the rest, the script, I don't think there is anything artistic about it. And the shooting, I felt like very derivative space sci-fi.
It felt very Netflix soundstage. Very Netflix soundstage. Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. It's like that style that it feels like is derivative. Is a bit of how did you say? Generic, like formulaic kind of thing. That is this was generated by an AI.
Yeah,
like the style that you're putting here. Is it a timeless piece?
I don't know. I guess yes. I mean, it's firmly rooted in like issues that matter right now, like politics and class politics. But I guess there's not. I guess it's vague enough that it will always matter. I don't know. Let's say yes.
Yeah, I'm going to go with yes. Because it's true that the issues that he's putting up front are issues that are happening right now, but there has been like similar stories to this for a very long time. I mean, you can think about like Blade Runner. Blade Runner is infinitely better than this. And no, I'm not talking about 2049. I'm talking about the original, the Ridley Scott original movie. And it also talks about like how the world is falling apart and how humanity is going to colonies. So this is always going to exist. So it's timeless from that perspective. Would you turn this into a TV show?
Honestly, there's probably enough content in this movie for like 2 seasons of some NBC sitcom on this. No, I wouldn't. No.
I wouldn't do it either, but I would also have said the same about Snowpiercer, and they made a show.
Did you end up watching it?
No.
Does the train ever stop?
In the movie, I think it. Sorry, that would be a spoiler for another movie. Did you watch it? Did you watch Snow? You told me that you didn't, no?
I can't remember. Didn't they make a sequel?
He was not involved if there was a sequel, that's for sure.
That is not the Zombies on Trains one, right?
No. That's Train to Busan.
Maybe I saw Train to Busan and I did not see Snowpiercer. That's what I think happened, and I confused the two.
Yeah, they don't have anything to do with each other.
But they both have trains.
They both have trains, that's true. But if they Train to Busan, it doesn't start on a train.
But they're both South Korean train films. That's a lot in common.
Sure, Blake, that's true. That's basically the same movie. You are absolutely right. They have trains, it's sci-fi, they're from the same country. It's the same movie.
It's
the same movie. You win. But yeah, no, I wouldn't want to see Mickey 17 turn into a TV show. This was enough. Could Mickey 17 have been a short?
Honestly, probably. I mean, 100% it could have been under 60 minutes, and it could have been a very tasteful 42 minutes, I think.
Okay, you convinced me. I was going to go with no, but is that there are like so many elements that you can remove here. Is that all of that adventure in the third act, it could have disappeared like super easily.
I mean, spoiler alert, a character could have been biting a rope for like 30 minutes less, and everything would have been fine.
And nothing. It's exactly what I had in mind. What I was saying about the third act is that I was thinking about all of that scene. That it was like, this has been more than 10 minutes.
Yep.
All of that scene. It's completely unnecessary. So yes, I agree with you. It could have been a short. Do you think this movie could have been better? I'm going to go first. Yes. Yes, you could have like a way tighter script, as we were saying.
Yes, I agree completely. I think he just needs a good editor. Do you remember that film about Mia Wasikowska falling in love with her uncle, and she was a psychopath?
Stock, was it?
I can't remember her name. Anyway, that film's editor needs to help out Bong Joon Ho. Just keep it tight, succinct. really lean. Stoker, yeah.
Yeah, with Nicole Kidman too. Who was the bad guy?
I don't know. I used to find that guy so handsome, like painfully handsome.
Good.
Yes, that's the one.
Oh, that's it. And this was directed. Yeah, this was Park Chan-wook. Was the guy from Old Boy?
Yeah, he's the guy that did the film that I mistook about the burning, right? Didn't he do Burning? No?
No.
I'm going to come across as really racist against South Korea.
Yes, you are. There is more than two directors.
No,
okay?
There are.
Yeah, sorry, man.
I think you're thinking of China, man. There's only 2 South Koreans.
Okay, let's just stop here. Let's just stop here before we get like censored. So, should we score this?
We should. This was your pick, so technically, I should go first. Just because he recently won Best Picture, I'm going to give him a superficial bump up to a 6.
Okay. I love that. I don't know how this correlates, like the score, like the accolades from Parasite into Mickey 17 6 years later.
Well, I mean, it was going to be a 5.5, but he's just it's the halo effect.
Sure. I'm going to go with a 5.5. I was debating between a 5.5 and a 6, and you convinced me. Is that there is a halo effect here? Is that if it's a movie that we're not going to remember, we didn't feel like it was special in any way, and we found it a tad too long, for me it's a bit below good.
And that's fair. I can't argue against that.
Yeah. So while I was traveling, I spent like the whole month traveling, but in one of my last nights, I traveling by myself, I was in a hotel and I put the TV and they were playing The Edge of Tomorrow.
Is that
Tom
the
Cruise.
Tom? I just can never remember the 70 names it had. So
Oh, yeah, like Live, Die, Repeat, or something.
yeah,
Five, Die, Repeat. Yeah. When they re-release it again, yeah, that was bizarre. But I found it like way more entertaining than this.
that that was a good movie. But yeah, that,
Yeah, it's a better movie than it has the right to be.
good.
Like, once you watch it, it's like, dude, why am I so entertained? Why is this like so well made? It's Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt, no? It's like, what is Emily Blunt doing here? And I just said, okay, this is actually decent. So it was exactly the opposite. It's like Mickey 17 for me was like, why is this so much worse than it should be?
It's a pity. I mean, I really was truly happy that I came around to feeling entertained because I do want Bong Joon Ho to keep making films. And maybe that's why I bumped it up to a 6, just so we keep getting at least interesting attempts.
Yeah, because we know that the biggest studios listen to our podcast and they guide the financial
So
decisions
please, guys,
based on our scores.
please, Weinstein Company, if you're listening, please stop being predators and make better films.
Yeah, just throw a bone to Bong Joon Ho, not to your actresses. Oh, God. Right, and I think that has been more than enough for Mickey 17. Okay. Right, to everyone out there, thank you so much for putting up with us and listening to us.
Until next time.
Okay, bye.